three staff of Kenya Revenue Authority who have continued to harass tourists and Kenyans who are traveling into the country. It is unfair, it is unnecessary.
There is a need to urgently address the rot at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and the shameful way the police, customs and immigration officials are treating tourists and the returning members of the diaspora.
We are entering the peak of tourism season, and His Majesty's visit to Kenya is poised to give our tourism a very big boost. The KRA's passenger terminal guidelines could not have come at a worse time than this. This is not the time to be threatening those coming to Kenya. We agree the laws around the world impose limitations on the amount of good, but that should not be an excuse to threaten passengers or harass travelers or infringe on privacy of tourists. KRA should make it easy for passengers and travelers coming to Kenya to declare their luggage and, where necessary, pay duty before landing. There is also a need to clarify which goods are affected and ensure personal effects and electronics are left out. There appears to be mischievous characters at Times Tower who are bent on sustaining negative publicity on taxes. We appreciate that the only way we are going to achieve sustainable development as a country is by paying taxes and becoming dependent on our own resources in our country. But even then, there's need for all agencies and government, all agencies of government to go easy on Kenyans and, as far as possible, avoid coming across insensitive in making their public announcements. Why will KRA choose when we are preparing for the royal visit to remind Kenyans of these new rules? This matter also as a committee has been raised by members, and I have raised with Kenya Revenue Authority, particularly on the exit terminal, three staff of Kenya Revenue Authority who have continued to harass tourists and Kenyans who are traveling into the country. It is unfair, it is unnecessary at this season when you're trying to improve on our numbers in the tourism sector.
And I think a lot of the people we've interviewed here have expressed very strong views about what they can do for us in promoting. But there is a serious problem, Mr. Chair, about our situation at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. There is a need to urgently address the rot at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and the shameful way the police, customs and immigration officials are treating tourists and the returning members of the diaspora who have the misfortune of landing at our national airport. This is incredibly painful when you watch that these unpatriotic and unprofessional workers work like a pack of wild dogs in pursuit of a prey. Instead of welcoming our tourists and our returning diaspora, they have turned Jomo Kenyatta Airport into a meat market. The level of intimidation, harassment, and extortion of bribes at this airport is beyond belief. And unless we take a very urgent step to address that, our country is going to lose a lot of those people. Nobody would come back to our country if we treat them like that. They're undermining our efforts to attract more tourists, and they're tarnishing our good name and the good name of our country. And I think this committee must take very urgent action, and the government must urgently act to review and remove these elements before it is too late. And the other major problem I see all the time when I'm at Jomo Kenyatta Airport is the problem of the long immigration queues and the chronic congestion, both going out and coming in. I think that is a major problem that must be addressed. Sometimes people sit in those queues for 2 hours. Mothers with children who have been traveling for 9, 10 hours are stuck in these queues, and you really feel pity for them after all that traveling. This is not a very good sign. It is not a sign of competence or efficiency. And it is not good for the image of our country. And I think our department should do something so that we can help our ambassadors to increase the number of tourists. And this despicable behavior is alarming, unacceptable, and irrepressible. It's not acceptable in a modern society. And the only way we can attract tourists is by been good and positive to them, and we can help our ambassadors to promote our good and beautiful country where they are serving.
More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge.